see how easily you can plug your gas furnace into a generator today to keep your family warm and safe in a power outage. This is episode 3 out of 5 on getting your furnace running in a power outage. So what we're going to learn in this episode, we're going to actually remove some parts from the furnace. We're going to actually go over a workaround. Like some of you might encounter this challenge, some of you may not. So you could probably fast forward through that workaround part. And we're going to also identify the wires in the electrical parts that we need to do to get your furnace running in a power outage. Just getting the last screw out. I'm going to take this plate off so you can see what it looks like inside here. Okay, we'll set this down with the other screws and things here on the floor by the screwdriver. Okay, so you've got a switch and you've got 2 more screws you need to remove. Okay, there's looks like a plus up here. I think I can show it to you at a different angle. Another one down here. Okay, so I'll try to get a better shot of that here for you. Might be out of focus. I'll try to get it focused. It doesn't want to cooperate. Maybe a little further distance away. So there's the top one. That looks like a plus. I think some of them can be a plus or a minus. But whenever you can do the ones that are shaped like a plus, they're called Phillips. That's a lot easier to use a Phillips screwdriver to actually remove that. So I'm going to remove these screws and then I'll be able to pull this switch. Here we go. I'll be able to pull this switch out and show you where the black wire actually goes to that I talked about earlier. Okay, I got the switch loosened up. One neat thing about some of these screws is they'll have this little black little piece of metal on the back of it. So you can take screws or loosen screws, but you don't lose them. They don't fall down. So that's kind of a neat thing. You might see that in your situation, you might not, but that comes in. That's a neat little feature that they have on some electrical screws. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out, and you don't need to be shy. Sometimes you don't have much to work with as far as room to work. Like I'm working around. This is actually a gas line. And this is a gas valve, and then this is the line that goes into the piece of pipe that goes through the furnace wall into the furnace and down to the burners. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's get this out. And you'll notice that on the switch there's a black wire right there. Okay, that's where that black wire goes to. So look at the shape of that. It looks like you can use a slotted or a Phillips. So again, if I have an option to use a Phillips or a plus sign, one that looks like a plus, I'll use that. So I'm going to actually get my screwdriver, remove this wire, and then we'll move forward. Okay, I loosened this enough to be able to pull this off, so I'm going to actually need to pull on here. Oh, you know what? I've got the white. There's a white wire on the other side. So I'll flip this thing over. Nope, not there. Oh, yeah, there we go. I didn't loosen both black wires. You see that one I just took off came off there, but there's another one that's attached. There's 2 different ways you can attach wires. I don't know if you can see that. This one came off the bottom, and then this one actually was attached in a different way. Basically, you can it just pushes into a hole on the switch, and in this case, because it's so tight, I don't have enough wiggle room to pull it out of there. Basically, I'm going to have to go onto the other side here and cut it off. Well, let's see which one that is. Okay, I'm going to pull on this one, this black one here, and see if it comes out. Okay, that's the one that I just disconnected. Okay, So that's the one I just disconnected from the switch. Remember on the bottom, this bottom, I had it attached here. This other one is actually going up through this conduit back to the breaker box. So what I'm going to need to do is remove this from the box so I can actually get to this other black wire that's in there, because I can't get to it any other way. There's no second black wire in here for me to get to from this side to cut it. And so that means that this end of the black wire is actually coming from up here. So I need to take this off to be able to get to that and remove it. I'm actually glad we've encountered this, because a lot of times what the other furnaces that I've set up, there's lots of wire. It seems like we've got a very short wire we're dealing with, so this would be a good situation to help, in case you run into it, to help you solve that problem. So I'm glad we have this situation, because normally there's plenty of wire like on the other side you can pull out and you've got plenty to work with. So we'll go ahead and take this conduit out, and the way this comes off is it just simply screws off. This is threaded, and you just unscrew it like this. Okay, slide that up, and this also is screwed into this box here. So it might take a little more work to do, because on the inside of the box there's a nut on the other side. I think it's going to work. I'm actually kind of pulling up at the same time to keep that nut in the inside of the box from turning. But it seems like I'm going to have to get my other hand in here to hold it, to keep it from turning, to be able to pull this up and out of there. Wait a minute, it seems like it's getting a little looser. Yeah, I think I'm making some progress. Again, most situations you're not going to run into this short piece of wire that you've got to deal with, but I think it's good learning experience. Just in case one of you encounter this, you'll see how I do it, how I handle it. All right, I'm gonna actually have to do this two-handed, and I can't do the video while I do it two-handed, but I'll show you what it looks like. Actually, I might be able to see past all this stuff. You see, there's like I'll show it to you later, but if you go back to this video afterwards, let's see here. See if we can get you close. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the way. Basically, there's the plastic, the gray plastic comes down. It's right on the very bottom, right here. And then there's a metal ring just above my finger there. It's kind of silvery looking. And I have to hold that metal ring to keep it from, hold it still so I can unscrew the rest of this stuff. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll show it to you after I take it off. Okay, so here's how I solved this problem. Let me show you this. This is the switch. Okay, there's two ways of connecting wires to it. There's these screws on the side, and then there's this hole, this little hole right here, right above my thumb, where you can stick a wire into it, and that's another way of connecting it. And this little spot here is, if you take a small screwdriver and you push in that will release the wire from this little hole right above my thumb. So here's where the wire that was coming down. I actually didn't do that with the screwdriver to release it. I was trying to pull on it to get something that I could, to reach in there with the screwdriver to release it, but it actually released on its own. So that's what that is. And then I think I promised to show you this part detached. So That's what it looks like. See how it's got the large threads up here on the top part and the small diameter threads there? Well, on the inside, so if you can see those, that nut on the bottom. Yeah, here it is, right here. I'm hanging on to this. Oh goodness. Here. Oops. Hold on a minute. Let's try this again. It's this little metal ring here. Right here. That's the ring that threaded onto the bottom of this plastic part. So I had to hold it with my hand. I had to do it two-handed. And actually, turns out I didn't really need to release this. But we got the switch out of there, and now we can start wiring in the outlet. Well, here we are. This situation that we have here with this particular project is kind of hard because the wire is so short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually remove the box from the side of the furnace to have a better view of what I'm working on and a little more room to get all the wires hooked back up. And then I'll put the box back on. Here we go. Okay, in order to hook this up the way I plan on hooking it up and run it using the generator, first thing I need to do is disconnect these wires here. Take these caps, or they're called wire nuts, off, and it's very simple to remove them. So basically you just twist them counterclockwise. Okay, and you take that off, and I'll set the cap down, and then I'll do the same thing with this one. Take it off, and then there's some, they can sometimes be twisted a little bit. Doesn't take much to remove them. Again, pretend like they have electric in them and don't touch the copper ends, just as a safety precaution. Okay, the green ones are ground. They do not have power in them, so you can touch the bare copper on that. But you know, I'm touching this one wire that's has no coating on it, and the green one that does have, I'm touching it on the, you know, the green part, not the coated part. Again, as a precaution, we did test and made sure that there was no electric in these wires. Okay, now I'm going to actually pull, like, you got two whites and you got two black, well, you got two whites, two grounds, which is the green and the bare copper one, and this one black one stays inside the furnace. But I'm going to pull one white one out by actually, I've got this disconnected here, so I can just do it this way. And actually, I can see which one goes through this hole on the side. Right here, you can see there's a copper one, all copper, and then there's the white one. So I can go to the other side of the hole and find the white one and the copper one. My thumb's in the way. You can see the white one coming through the hole and the copper one. So this is a two-handed operation. Actually, I could probably push them through from the other side. I'll try to do that. There we go. Just to separate them so I can more easily remove this box and work with the limited amount of black wire that I have in here to work with. Okay, so, and it's usually best to do one wire at a time because they're kind of stiff and they like to be a little stubborn. So I'm pushing the white one through right now. Okay, I get my finger, pull it the rest of the way. Okay, Same thing with the copper ground wire, pushing that through. Hey, if you like what you've seen and it's brought value to you, please give generously to my Give, Send, Go link at the bottom of this page. Thank you very much.